The penultimate episode brought new clues that could point to Floyd's stepson Richard being the person riding the ghost bike to the pool house. Yet one fact seems clear. Floyd died from too much amphazine in his body, and only the three people sitting around the picnic table knew that too much amphazine would kill him. Could Richard have seen his stepfather unable to do the pommel horse routine and snuck an extra dose of his stepdad's medicine into a drink in a mistaken attempt to help him? Maybe, but unlikely. Is this a murder, a suicide, or an accident? Let's solve DTF St. Louis, Episode 6, The Denny's Plan. Floyd's ego takes a hit after a failed attempt to reconnect with Carol, leading Clark to help his friend using the DTF app. We'll be breaking down each episode for clues, suspects, and red herrings on the hunt to learn who killed Floyd, if he was killed. Spoilers for the first 6 episodes of DTF St. Louis. If you haven't seen the first 6 episodes, pause this video, just pull a nix. Watch the 6 episodes, and then come back and watch. Use the timestamps below to jump to the topic or suspect that you want to hear about. Skip past things that you are not interested in. At the end of this podcast, I'll present the big theories from the DTS Down to Solve crew. But first, I need your feedback. Every other time I've made one of these Let's Solve videos, the show in question has been a traditional whodunit murder mystery. With DTF St. Louis, this show's mystery is really a what happened? Based on the 6 episodes we've watched, neither Carol nor Clark would have wanted to kill Floyd. Seemingly no one would have wanted to kill Floyd. So it's really a what exactly happened? Do you like this format in my videos for a what happened mystery? Go down in the comments and let me know. Do you like it? Are you happy we did this? Give me feedback, please. And while you're at it, you know I need you to subscribe, like, hype, comment. Whether you're getting this on YouTube or via an audio podcast like on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I need you to subscribe, like, comment, share it with your friends on social media. It really does mean a lot to me. Thank you so much. As part of putting together these Let's Solve series, I do research, and a couple of weeks ago I had to do a Google search on Peyronie's disease. Mainly I was Googling to find out how do you pronounce it. Well, of course, you can imagine what happened. I did a Google search, and just this past weekend when watching YouTube, an ad came up with a drug that would help with Peyronie's disease, and it told me I should ask my doctor if it was right for me. The moral, Big Brother is always watching, and if you don't want to see these ads, don't search Peyronie's disease. Before we run down the suspects, let's see what episode 6 taught us about our victim, Floyd Smernitch. Floyd continues to bond with his stepson, Richard. He told Richard that, hey, you need friends, like my friend Clark. Clark would defend me from people who were rude to us. So that's going great for Floyd. Sadly, that might be the only thing going correct for Floyd. He had an unsuccessful dream session with his wife Carol where Clark was watching. The husband and wife cannot connect at all. Floyd feels terrible. He thinks he made his wife uncomfortable and made her squirm. At the end of the dream session, Carol and Floyd get dressed and leave separately. Floyd is very depressed. And what do you do when you're very depressed? You get a PB chocolate love at Jamba Juice. Not good for that stomach fat. He is just down in the dumps. He's not getting hits on DTF. He goes to the park. He can't do that pommel horse routine. His buddy Clark tries to cheer him up. Clark brings Floyd to a school visit to talk to students about weather, but Floyd, he's just not into it. He's depressed. Later, Floyd tells Clark, this is it. Everything is depressing. I'm leaving DTF. I put up honesty about myself, my age, but I'm not getting any hits. Floyd says he feels gone from his wife Carol, gone from life. He's hit an age where nobody even looks at him anymore. Then, of course, he finds out that he has had a hit on the DTF app from Tiger, someone who respects him for his real age, the real stuff he posted about himself. Floyd goes off on this tangent saying that if he can make a connection with anyone, even this dude, it could help him. And if the man, Tiger, could get excited, it might mean something about him. Floyd says he's not afraid. He explains to Clark that, hey, it's going to take some time for him to get his body back into fighting shape. But when he hugs this Tiger, and if that person feels any thrill, Floyd's going to feel like a new man. Sadly, the day before meeting up with Tiger, Floyd is out trying to jog and lose weight. He gets out of breath, he collapses, and then he finds out the truth. He sees Clark talking to the fill-in Tiger. Clark tells him the complete truth that he was nixed. How depressing could this be? Does this drive Floyd to take his own life? Now let's look at the suspects. Weatherman Clark Forrest. Way back before the series really almost began, Clark had an emotional breakdown, a panic attack while he was on air doing the weather. He just froze up and had to break out a couple of karate poses and scream, "Beware!" After that attack, that night he tried to regain focus by braiding both his daughter's hair. It didn't help. He describes to the detective thinking that he'd never been intimate with a woman underwater, and even though he knew it'd be miserable and filled with friction, he wanted an experience to know, hey, I'm still growing, I'm still learning, I'm still experiencing things. The very next day after that panic attack is when he went to the infamous cornhole party and talked to Carol. We learned things we've known for a bit. Clark used his mother's bank account to pay for the Floyd life insurance. I think I got this a bit wrong last week where the text, "What you were doing with Carol, it's not right, bro. I want to meet and figure this out, bro." Clark couldn't admit to the detectives that this was Floyd trying to teach him how to be intimate with his wife, Carol. These guys are good friends. Clark can tell when Floyd's signing without any emotion or any energy, when Floyd is despondent. Clark says he assumed that if it was a man, Floyd wouldn't want to go to the hookup. And in the end, he couldn't tell Floyd not to go meet this Tiger because Floyd was so cheered up. Clark believed the only way he could fix it was the Denny's plan, by going to a Denny's in Chicago, trying to find a person who would act as Tiger. He'd pay the person $900. The wait staff at Denny's wasn't very interested, but a patron overheard and said he'd do it. What do you guys think? Is there any way Clark, even if he didn't do it maliciously, could have caused Floyd's death? Go down in the comments and let me know. Floyd's widow Carol Love-Smernitch. Carol had told Clark that she did want to experience passion and intimacy with her husband Floyd. Yet, in the dream session, it doesn't work out. She says she felt her husband was just lying on top of her. She was kind of creeped out and wanted to slide away. Carol is focused on certain things. She just wants her money for the umpire work, but she doesn't even want to socialize with the umpires. She tells the umps that she's picking up the recumbent bike for her son. What an odd thing to say. Now, if Carol's guilty, would Carol be so fixated on getting $600 if she knew she was going to kill her husband and get $1 million? Floyd's stepson Richard. Now, Richard really needs friends. Feels like he knows he needs friends. Friends he can trust on. Friends who will support him. He can also tell that his stepdad is not doing well if he's not doing the pommel horse routine. He knows that his stepdad has friends, like Clark, who's on Billboard. Richard said Clark has a cool bike. Ding, ding, ding. Could that be important? Already, I mentioned that Carol said she was picking up the recumbent bike for her son Richard. New suspect, umpire Steven Conrad. What is going on with this kid, Steven? Is he attracted to Carol? He tells her, hey, nice season. Or is that just what he would say to anybody who wasn't up for the season? He did invite her to the postseason umpire get-together. Now, if this show was True Detective, guess what? Steven would be the killer. That's the way True Detective always seems to work. We see in the preview for episode 6 that the cops do talk to Steven. Any chance Steven's guilty? What do you think? Temu version of Tiger. I have to call him that because he doesn't want to use his real name. He kind of likes a photo of Floyd even though it's 10 years old, and he's willing to do it. He takes a bus ride from Chicago down to St. Louis. He's even at this metro station, which is actually the Lindbergh MARTA station, again 1 mile from my house here in Atlanta. But Tiger wants to scope out this person that he's going to get excited for. But when he sees out-of-shape Floyd, he signals to Clark that he's going to have to pull a nix. But the trip wasn't completely wasteful. It turns out he hooked up with modern love via DTF. This is crazy. Now let's go over all the big theories, and I'm going to use feedback from the DTS Down to Solve crew. There are a couple ideas. One of the theories is that stepson Richard did it. Nate B wrote, Richard has access to Floyd's laptop since Floyd set up that spreadsheet for him. Is it perhaps possible that through that laptop, Richard found out about the DTF site and emails and thought Floyd was cheating on his mom. Philippe X wrote something similar, that Richard would feel betrayed if he thought Floyd was cheating on his mom. And then if he found Floyd with a picture in a Playgirl magazine, that would be terrible, and perhaps Richard is the one who scratched out the face. A lot of people think maybe Floyd took his own life. Anya Williams wrote, Floyd took his own life for the insurance money. Floyd didn't want to leave Carol with just money. He also wanted to leave her with a partner, and that's why he was giving Clark sex position advice. Zumba Natalie B. wrote, I think Floyd ended his own life, perhaps because he felt so emasculated. Hence, that's why Floyd scratched out his own face from his naked photo. Now, there's also the theory that it was a complete accident. Shafali D, hopefully Shafali, I'm pronouncing your name correctly, they wrote, Floyd did not have a successful dream meeting with Carol, even with the amphazine. What if he felt he needed to take higher and higher dosage, and it's an accidental overdose? The final big theory people are talking about is, has Clark awakened something in himself? He is in the closet, literally, watching Floyd and Carol get it on. He's hugging naked Floyd. He cares so much about Floyd. Is it possible Floyd and Clark had an affair? That's what Katz wrote. And Michi Music said, I think Clark and Floyd will be together intimately at some point. Would that be the final moment? And I guess to add my 2 cents to this series has been so much about Clark and Floyd's relationship. Even though we've had all these misdirects, it almost feels like it has to be Clark on the recumbent bike, on the ghost bike, because in the end, these two almost need to be together at the end. What do you guys think? We got 1 week left. Go down in the comments and let me know. I am going to have a wrap-up episode where we talk about all the things we learned. Talk to you next week.